Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of 30 Days of Change. My name is Stephen Aitchison and we're now on day 22 of 30 Days of Change. Today's topic is, are you a fringe dweller? So we need to kind of explain what a fringe dweller is. Now, I don't know if anybody's read the books by a guy called Stuart Wilde. He's an amazing writer, personal development, kind of higher consciousness writer, and I thought his books were just fabulous. And sadly he passed away not that long ago, but he's an amazing writer. If you've never read any of his books, I recommend you read some of his books, and I'll put a link down below to some of the books that he wrote. But he describes, this is where I first heard the term, and I wrote a blog post about it because I was so kind of enraptured with it, and I just got up the courage to kind of write about being a fringe dweller and being a bit different from everybody else. But this is how he describes it. Fringe dwellers are people who don't fit the norm. I say they're not hippie revolutionaries living rough or social weirdos. The ones I speak of are ordinary people, and you can't tell them apart from others. It's their minds that are different. They don't relate to the rules and regulations of the status quo. The rhythms of a TikTok life leaves them uninspired and listless. I came to see how fringe dwellers are in a different evolutionary spiral because they aspire to belong to a world of higher consciousness, rather than having ideas and morals imposed upon them by a system that has corrupt values, one that often doesn't really know what it's talking about. And when I first read that, I thought, wow, that's brilliant. When he was first speaking about fringe dwellers. So I started thinking about myself, my own life, what it was like when I was growing up, and what it was like as a child. And I kind of always knew I was a bit different, even as a child, a very young age we're talking here. It must have been 7, 8 or 9. I kind of knew I was a bit different from everybody else, and I just thought it was a bit strange. I thought it was a bit weird, and I just didn't fit in with the world. And that was cool, but it wasn't cool to a young mind, because you always want to try and fit in. So what I've done is I've written kind of 9 signs that you're a fringe dweller. And the first one we've just spoken about, from a very early age, you might feel you're a little different from the norm, so you don't really fit into kind of any particular social circle. So when I was younger, I kind of fitted, well, I didn't really fit in anywhere, but I kind of was on the edge of lots of different social circles. And to be honest, I liked my alone time. I liked to be alone a lot of the time, and I could amuse myself, and I loved reading when I was younger as well. And a lot of people find that strange, that I was like that I like so much time on my own. But that's followed me all throughout my life, and I just love my alone time. I spend 10 hours a day alone, working on a computer, and I love it. Obviously I talk to people on social media and Facebook, and I talk to my team as well and stuff like that. But essentially I'm alone in the house, and there's not a minute that I am bored with my life. I just love everything about my life. I just love my alone time. I love my family time as well. And I don't have many friends, but the friends I do have are really good friends, and they'll be friends kind of for life. So I don't collect friends like people do. I always found that a bit strange, but most people seem to do it. So you know you're a fringe dweller, or one of the signs is you've realised from a very early age that you're a bit different from everybody else, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. So just reading some of the signs. Oiklab saying I can relate to being alone most of the time. Excellent. Okay, so a lot of people can relate to that. I'm just kind of reading the comments as we go along. So the second sign that you're a fringe dweller, and I'm going to put a link to the blog post below as well, that I've written about this. The second sign is you can feel the pain of others. Now that might sound a bit strange, but you're emotionally attached to people. You can feel the emotions and the painful emotions of other people round about you, and it's kind of hard to let go of that. It's kind of hard to separate yourself from somebody else who's in pain, and you can almost physically feel the pain. It's like we've spoken about before, being an empath. If you're an empath, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and I can speak about that in another video as well, talking about empaths, because I think that's a really, really interesting topic. And there's a lot of wee hearts kind of flying across there, obviously. A lot of people agree with that. So you can feel the pain, the emotional pain, and sometimes you can feel it physically, but you can definitely feel it psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and you just feel the pain somehow because you're more connected to people than most, I say, normal people are. I hate doing that sign, I hate doing that, I hate people who do that. So that's the second sign that you're a fringe dweller, as I like to call them. I just love that phrase. Another sign, the third sign would be as if you feel there's something more to life. That you feel there's something more to this life than you're currently living just now. And we're talking about on many different levels. We're talking about what you do at your work. You might just feel there's something I'm supposed to be doing with my life, but I'm not doing it. And you're still trying to find your way. You're trying to find out what your purpose is, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And it's a kind of weird feeling. And being honest, I've lived with that most of my life. And what I've done to kind of combat that is try different things. So you kind of get signposts in your life to say, okay, you should be going in this direction. And when you get one of these intuitive signposts, you don't know where it comes from, if it's from your own mind or you just think you're going crazy, but you've got a calling to follow a kind of path almost. And this is a path that's kind of led me here today. So I know what I'm doing today. I know what I'm doing right this minute. Talking to you is what I should be doing. And it doesn't matter if only one person comes on and watches this video, but if it helps that one person, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But you might feel there's something more to life. There must be more to life. And we're talking about a higher consciousness level as well. This world seems to me a bit kind of plain and drab, and that's why I like to think about kind of higher consciousness. That's why I like to think about things that are on a different level, and you're probably the same as well. So that's another sign that you're a fringe dweller, when you think about, when you really feel there's something more to life. Another sign, a fourth sign of being a fringe dweller, is you get bored very easily. Things, I don't know about you, but I do get bored really easily. Once I've mastered something, I kind of want to put it aside and say, right, I've done that, I've mastered it, I'm kind of bored with it now, I want to try something new. You're always looking for something new. And it's not about being ADD or anything like that. It's about just trying new things, trying different things in your life. And you want to master lots of different things. And that's what it's about. So it's not about you've not got the concentration enough to focus long enough. It's about just, you've got that curious mind and you're really curious about everything. You just want to try new things all the time. So that is the fourth sign that you're a fringe dweller. And obviously all these signs together will kind of add up and you just say, yeah, I'm what you would call a fringe dweller. And that's not the technical term for it, that's just a name kind of I've given it, and Stuart Wilde has written about it as well. And I just loved the praise. The fifth sign that you're a fringe dweller is you're highly creative. And I mean highly creative. You're always thinking about creative ways to do things. You might be an artist, a musician, you might be a writer, you might be an entrepreneur, and you might have your own business, but there's something in the creative field whereby you're creating things in the world. And it could be you're creating a product online, it could be you're creating an MP3 file for somebody to listen to, and you just love kind of doing creative things. So that's the fifth sign that you're a fringe dweller. So creativity brings you up to a different level of consciousness, rather than being stuck in a kind of mundane world and kind of living life just as everybody else through the TikTok world, as Stuart Wilde likes to call it. And the TikTok world is okay for a lot of people. Some people are happy in the TikTok world, but I've never been happy in the TikTok world, and this is why I do what I do just now. I got out of the TikTok world and created my own life. And that's what I'd love for you to do as well, if you're so inclined. I'm not saying you have to do that, But if you're so inclined, look for ways to get out of the TikTok world and create your own world, create your own reality. So that's the fifth sign. The sixth sign that you're a fringe dweller, very much like me, you need a lot of alone time. Now, when I talk about people being or having a lot of alone time, it means they spend a lot of time on their own, but they're not loners. I'm certainly not a loner. I'm an introverted social person. So I love talking to people. I love kind of meeting new people as well, but not all the time. It's only sometimes, and in my own time, I like to do that. But I'm extremely kind of social when I meet somebody new. But I love a lot of my alone time. I need my alone time just to replenish my mind and just to think creatively and just to kind of sit back, relax. And that alone time is spent kind of doing creative things like this. This for me is creative. Going on Facebook Live, talking to you, interacting with you as the readers. It's creative, it's a creative outlet for me, and I just love doing it. So that's why I like to do my alone time. And I create things, I create websites, I create products, I write, I do loads of different things that are creative, but it's all done in my alone time, and I love doing it. So that is the sixth sign that you're a fringe dweller, if you like a lot of your alone time. And as I said, it's not about being a loner, it's just about having to spend a lot of time alone. And that's what it's about. And there's a big difference between being a loner and wanting to spend a lot of time alone. A lot of people get that mixed up. And a lot of people can't understand that as well. If you're not that type of person, people can't understand why you'd want a lot of alone time. Number 7, for the signs, or one of the 9 signs of being a fringe dweller, is there's a lot of little coincidences that are happening more in your life. So you might think about something and that something comes into your life a couple of minutes later, or you might think about somebody and that person will call. If you've never spoke to them for a couple of years, and that person will write to you on Facebook, or they'll call you up, or you'll see them somewhere in the high street or something like that. So little coincidences, and when you've got questions in your mind, this has happened to me a lot. When I've got kind of questions in my mind, the kind of bigger questions, I'll suddenly find a book, or I'll come across a website accidentally, or somebody sends me a link, say, oh, you need to read this, and it answers a question perfectly that I was looking for the answer to. And just little coincidences as well, like even finding this Facebook Live video. How did you find this Facebook Live video? Did you know I was coming on at 2 o'clock? A lot of you might have done, but it might be that you just seen it in your newsfeed and this was a message for you. This could have been a little coincidence, and it proves that you're a fringe dweller, or one of the signs that you're a fringe dweller. So that's another sign as well. Little coincidences keep on happening to you. And I've noticed as well when I've needed answer to things, or I've been looking for ways, I've been looking for a solution to a problem, and things have actually came to me from seemingly out of nowhere. So these little coincidences keep on happening. Number 8, a sign that you're a fringe dweller, is you're attracted to lots of different spiritual teachings. So fringe dwellers don't follow and just kind of one teaching, or they don't believe it. It might be that you're a Christian, it might be a Catholic, a Buddhist, whatever you are. You don't just take the word of that one teaching, but you listen to the word of lots of different spiritual teachings. So it might be that you're a Christian, you read the Bible religiously, and that's fantastic, but you're open-minded enough to look at Buddhist teachings, Krishna teachings, the Quran, you've read the Quran or something like that. Your mind is open, it's not closed. It's not that closed that you say, this is the only way. And that kind of shows, that's another sign that you're a fringe dweller. And that's not going to go down well with people, but this is just my opinion. You don't have to kind of like it, you don't have to take it, and you don't have to believe it. This is just what I think a fringe dweller is. So you're open-minded enough, you're not that close-minded that you just follow one way, but you're open-minded enough to listen to other kind of spiritual teachings. And not just religious stuff is about kind of higher consciousness stuff as well. And that's what I love to read. I love to read across the board. I definitely don't follow one. I'm not religious at all, but I'm extremely spiritual. And a lot of people find that strange, but that's it. Number 9, the last one. 9 signs that you're a fringe dweller. Number 9 is you don't want a normal job. A normal job bores the hell out of you. And you just go, oh, for Christ's sake, I just can't do a 9-to-5 job. I just can't do this anymore. It might be that you're having to do that just now. And that's cool. Obviously, you have to feed your family. You have to feed yourself. You have to pay for a mortgage. Or you have to pay the rent every month. And it might be it's a stopgap just now. And if you're feeling like that, and if you feel all these 9 things that you're a fringe dweller, there's something inside of you saying, okay, you're meant for bigger and better things. You might not be able to put your finger on it, but you know there's something there. You can feel it deep down in your heart that there's something in the world that you're meant to do. And I know I've spoken about this in other videos as well, follow your dreams and stuff like that. But this time, listen to your intuition. And how do you listen to your intuition? Where does your intuition come from? Well, as I spoke about before, I believe we're all part of a collective consciousness. So your mind, my mind is all up there kind of somewhere, and everybody can access that collective consciousness. And that's where I believe kind of intuition comes from. That's where I believe inner guidance kind of comes from as well. I'm not saying you have to believe that. Now, this is just what I believe, and I'm not saying you have to believe that. I'm not trying to change anybody's religion, anybody's opinion. I just love for you to think about things in a different way, or just even think about things, or open your mind up to the possibility. Because what you do when you open up your mind to the possibility is you just ask the question to yourself, is that possible? I wonder if that's possible. And when you ask yourself the question, is that possible? You've automatically opened up your mind, because your subconscious mind then starts to answer the question. And it starts to ask questions as well. It says, okay, if that is possible, what if this happens? How would it play out if this happened? So the collective consciousness that I kind of believe in, that we all tap into to find our creativity, to get guidance from our intuition, just to get guidance in general and little signposts along our path in life. I believe that, and I've believed it for a long time, but I've just never formulated it in such a way as I have when I've got older. And when I was younger, I always had these kind of strange kind of beliefs as well. I remember going to church when I was younger. I was 9 years old when I was younger. And a lot of people are not going to like this as well, but I'm just going to tell the story. When I was 9 years old, I was at church, and we were kind of sitting in Sunday school, and we collected these little crosses, and the more crosses you collected for being a good boy, for getting a little pat on the head or whatever, you got prizes like pencils and rubbers, or erasers as you would call them. And I remember coming out, and I speaking to the minister. I don't know how we were speaking to the minister, and I said, how do you know there is a God? At 9 years old, you just said, how do you know there is a God? And he said, well, just kind of look all around you, son. Look at the sky, look at the grass. Grass is beautiful green, the sky is blue. That's not his exact words, but this is kind of how I remember it. And I said, well, how does that prove there's a God? And he started to get annoyed with me. I couldn't understand, because I was just asking a question, how do you know there's a God? And when he said about the sky being blue and the grass being green, I thought, it didn't sit with me at all. So I was questioning things as young as 9 years old. And I think a lot of people do that, but they usually do it as they get older. And if you're a fringe dweller, you probably question things when you were younger as well, as a young person. You just kind of looked at things a little differently. So I hope that topic was quite good. I'm going to look at some of the comments just now. Linda Sanders Wise is crazy how you just described me. So some people can relate to that. Maria Law, totally loving this. Yep, odd but amazing job. I'm a nurse and love it. Linda DeCass is saying, thanks for the confirmation. Wonderful to know there's countless people who resonate with every description. Joanna Strom saying, curiosity of a child. And Jennifer L. Norris, I'm First Nation, I have spiritual. So there's a lot of people kind of resonating with what I'm saying just now. I'll just try to go through the comments there, so I can't do them all. Darlene Dawn, who's a regular watcher. Hi Darlene, how you doing? Thank you so much for making me feel less weird and more normal, but not sure if I should continue the book I'm writing, as it's about feeling different from the time I was first in school. Do what your heart tells you, Darlene. Just go with the flow and see what your intuition says and just go with the flow. So I've been on for about 22 minutes now, and so I'm going to leave you there just now. If you like this video, obviously leave a comment just to say what you've thought about what I've been writing about, if you're a Fringe dweller or not, and share this video as well. I always like to get the kind of video shared with your friends. Even if you don't like it, just say, oh, this guy's a dick, you need to watch him, he's such an idiot or whatever, or he's brilliant, he's amazing, and just share it as well. And so what I'll do is I'll put a link to the post I'm talking about being a Fringe dweller, and it digs deeper into it, and I just kind of love that topic, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So until tomorrow, namaste.